Hey guys, what's up? It's Dale Tutorials. Today I'm looking at this effect here. Chris walks around the corner. I signal him. He fires, and then Chloe comes out and dies. This effect was actually probably one of the hardest effects to do out of the whole video. Because it is actually two videos. The first clip I did was Chris walking along, pressing his nose, and that was it. And then the second one was of Chloe just having a quick fit, falling on the floor, and then running out the shot so I can get blank background. And it kind of looks a bit funny if you kind of go forwards and back. She's like, yeah! I'm gonna flick my hair in my hand. Yeah, so she does like a little dance. Yeah. Anyway, so what I did was I started off. Let's put this into a new. Here we go. Right. So what I did was I started off with my piece here, and about here, which is where he's going to have fired. What I did was I just tracked the shot. I did position and rotation, and what I did was I scaled this up, and I think I tracked this bit here. I tried loads of different tracking points for this, and I think the other track point was down there, to the bottom there, and I tracked it forwards. And then once I'd done that, I used a load of Action Essentials clips. So you know, obviously Action Essentials costs, but if you do have Action Essentials, then this will be even better for you. So what you can do is you go to New, Null Object, Edit Target, and select that null object. Click OK. Apply. Now what that's done is it's put the tracking data onto this null object. So now that this square here stays there. It doesn't have to be perfect, but it was pretty well done. I think I did it slightly better last time, but just so it's slightly quicker, that'll do. I mean, it sticks there pretty well anyway. So the next thing I did was I got my other piece of Chloe having a fit, and I found the part where I want her to die, which was about there, I think. So what you can do is you can click Alt and like in bracket, the one by the letter P, not the one that's a 9, and that just cuts your clip off at the start. So what I did was I clicked T, brought down the opacity so I could see, you know, both layers. I clicked S and scaled it down, and what I did here was I tried to find like the right match, and I think I've done this fairly well. I've clicked if you click up here it says W, and you can just straight away rotate. So I think I did about that. Clicked V, went back to normal mouse, and tried to line it up as best I could. I can scale it down again. Yeah, I just tried to get the right kind of look, and I think that looks, you know, pretty much okay. So now if I click T, bring the opacity back up again, that's almost there. It's a bit high, so bring it down. So once you kind of matched it up, that's all okay. So then what I did was I brought the opacity back up, went up here, up to the pen tool, and I kind of just went through and marked. Well, what I did first was here I tracked it, so I went and parented it to the null object, so it now moves with the shot. And what I did was I went up to the pen tool, kind of masked this bit out here, all the way down. So I masked all of that out, so that should keep her in. That bit's just slightly moved. Right, so that should keep her in. But now, if you look at this, that looks really, really bad. It just looks like she's been plonked there on her arm now. Yeah, so it looks really bad. So what I have to do is click F, and what I can do is I can feather the edges so it kind of blends in a bit more. But you have got to be careful that her arm, around here doesn't blend in. So that does help the effect. But still, you can see it's slightly darker, and that looks really bad. So I'm going to go over to the effects and type in curves, and put that onto this layer of Chloe. And what you want to do is you just mess around with the settings. Generally, the best idea, because you can do that and it looks terrible. You can go really bright, it looks rubbish. So if you just mess around with the settings, see what looks best. Just try and match it up best you can. And in this case it wasn't too bad, because it's in the same kind of lighting, same place, so it's pretty much the same. But in other cases you might have to you change the red, green and blue curves. So that's pretty much what I did there. Then what I did was I pre-composed it, and I moved all attributes into the new composition, and I started my clip off again. So now I've got this, but obviously now it's not tracking to it again. So I then got to parent that again to the null object, so that pretty much stays there. I did it slightly better last time and spent a lot of time on it, but this one, because it's just a tutorial, it's just going to be pretty basic, just to show you the kind of idea. So what I did then was I went up to, because what happens here is I could cut her out, like, selecting the layer might help. I could cut her out by going around like this, selecting Chris, and could basically go around like that and invert it so that this bit here doesn't But what I did was I made it slightly easier for me so I can keep that like that. So I went up to layer, new solid, and clicked OK. And actually no, I quite like it on white. Let's have a white, there we go. And I moved it above the layer, and I un-eyeballed it and un-eyeballed her, and I just, with the white solid selected, just went around him. I do it pretty basic here, but I went around properly last time. I tried to make sure I could do it as best I could. And once I got around him, around like that, I could bring up the layer again, and I can click F, and I can feather it out a bit. And what you can do is bring the expansion in or out, so I might bring it slightly out. And then I brought up her again. So what you need to do here is you go down to track matte, and you can either click alpha matte, which selects this and deselects her, so you can't see her, or you can go to alpha inverted matte. Now what that's done is it's cut out all of the white area that we've chosen and keeps all of Chloe's area. So hopefully if I track that white to the null, that should stay pretty much there. But Chris moves slightly, and this white layer does move a bit. So what you can do is in this white layer, bring up your mask path with it selected, and all I did was I pretty much just scrubbed through it, selected the whole thing and just moved it about until I found the right sort of you know, it doesn't have to be perfect, because when it goes in that one shot, you know, people don't pause the video straight away and look through it and go, oh, that's shocking, you know. You can do it fairly roughly because people aren't going to notice as much. But yeah, for the real thing, I always try and do my best. So what I can do there, and that pretty much flows along with him right until the end, where we'll just move him about a bit like that. So that's pretty much, you know, you can see bits here, so it's not as perfect as, you know, I'd like it, but you get my gist. So that's pretty much cut him out. So now that is her in a shot of something else, and it's pretty simple. You don't notice it. You wouldn't really notice it, apart from when she just, you know, the background there doesn't really flow. If you look, it's not quite. And the drain here, obviously, but I'd fix that. So what I did to kind of mask that was I got a powder from Action Essentials, and I shoved that on there, and I got it here. That kind of sucks, so I put it to screen and went on curves again. I think I just brightened it a bit, or no, I didn't set it to screen. I set it normal and just brightened it a lot. So it didn't have to be a perfect effect, because it's normally like that. You know, you could make it like a black effect if you want. In fact, we'll do that. We'll make it black. We'll make it as dark as we can when we're done. And if you want to make it even darker, you can duplicate the powder or whatever. I'll just use it like this for the moment. You know, so it's a big. But obviously these bits are going to be black, so I want to change it a bit. Anyway, so say this is what we want. That's a nice black puff. I started it a few frames before, about there, so that as it kind of goes over her, so that when you look at it, you're more focusing on this powder than on the clip of her that's coming in. So you know, he walks forwards. You're thinking, oh, what's going to happen? You know, it's going to cut to something else, and then there. See, so like he's walking forwards, and this powder kind of takes your eye away from the bad mix of the shots, because it kind of will just puffs in at once. So it's like bang. You don't really notice it that much, because you're more looking at the effect. So what I can do is I can scale it down a bit, or I can scale it up depending on your piece of your clips. So then what I did was, because obviously I want Chris cut out again for this, otherwise it's going to go over him. What I did was I copied the white that I masked out Chris for. I copied it and brought it above the powder. Oh, my voice went very strange. Brought it above the powder, and again I'm going to set the powder to alpha inverted matte, and that just masks him out. So that's all done. That's very nice. I like it. Yeah, so now we've got that, but the sparks is the main thing. This bit takes a bit of time depending on how good you want the effect to look. So all I did here was I found the spark, which is there, and I set that to screen so it looks nicer. Scaled it down, and he's going to have fired some stuff out. I won't cover that in this tutorial, otherwise it will take ages and ages and ages, and take so long to upload. These videos take ages to upload. So it's just like a little spark there, and then I'd add more and more and more, but I'll just duplicate it for the moment. Twizzle it around a bit so it looks slightly different. Upside down will do. So it's like bang bang, then she comes up. So it's just trying to get the effect across that he's shot her when she's invisible, and then she just puffs out because her invisibility's gone down or whatever. You know, I could put a couple more firecrackers in there somewhere. Obviously not real ones, otherwise that could hurt. And I added a few more, so I can add an extra one in here. And set that to to screen. What I could do is I could have like a really large one. Sorry, click S and bring the scale down. I could have like a really large one. That's what she said. Right at the start. Or I could have it just as she puffs in. So it's like, bang, puff, she's there. Or I could do it just as she puffs in, so it's like, and that just kind of takes the take your eye away from the bad background. So it's like bang, 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 then she's in. Also, because I use a DSLR, I obviously I focus it, and at the moment it's focused on Chris. When the puff's in, it's focused on her. But if it was the other way around, what you can do is where the clip is of her. Where is it? Here. The clip of we just solo that. The clip of Chloe. That sounds funny. What you can do is you can go up to box blur, and you can drag that on there. And this is like good for DSLR blurs, like fake ones, because you know it still has that kind of, you know, if you go too far it looks stupid, but if you start off, you know, that looks like a really good unfocusedness. So you can do that. What I could do if it was still focused on Chris here is click this little time button, so now it's unfocused, and then say it now focuses on Chloe here. I can then bring the focusing back down, and it looks like it's just gone from non-focused to focused. Anyway, so that's just a little helper of what you can do. That is pretty much the effect over, apart from I did use the welding for when Chris uses his nose thingy. See this spark here. So I started off there, I think. Did I? Yeah, I started off there. And I went to screen, so it blends in a bit more. I scaled it up lots, so it's like that. Slightly smaller actually. That sucks. And rotated it so that now the spark. My voice is terrible tonight. So now the sparks will kind of fly out. But obviously that doesn't look like it's going down towards her and getting smaller. So what I can do is I can set this welding to a 3D layer. And this way now I can rotate it. So I can rotate it like this. And what this is doing is it's changing the 3D-ness of it. And so now the clip looks like, you know, very 3D. Yeah, so that's how I did that effect, and then I just masked it around. So what I can do again, with all these effects in here, what I then can do is duplicate again this mask of this white, bring it above the welding, put the welding to alpha, and that's basically what I did that time. But I don't want to do it in this one because you know, it'll take quite a long time. So, or you could just mask around him yourself, pretty manually, like that. Click invert and feather it out a bit, and that just kind of blends in a bit. Then what you can do is you could change the track matte and put that to your null object, and then it should pretty much follow along with it. You know, you can adjust it on the way, but there we go. So that kind of now flies along here. So I'm not too happy with that. I want it to land here. So you just rotate the 3D object. Wrong way, like that. But now obviously that's changed the mask, so that kind of sucks. Just delete that. So now it now flings down to about there, and you can change the timing if you want. So it kind of hits bang bang. That could be a new song. Hits bang bang, hits a bang bang. Yeah, end it there, and then she just gets falls to the ground, and that's pretty much the effect over, really. The effect was slightly different on here. You know, I had like a little ground But yeah, I just used lots of different layers, and I just really experiment. There it is, there. So it kind of looks like he's not just hitting her body, he's kind of hitting the ground as well. But yeah, it's quite an easy effect. It's just very kind of time consuming. So yeah, I hope you've learned quite a lot from this video, because I learned quite a lot. What I do is I film stuff and think, oh, you know, is it possible to do that? And then, you know, I test it out, and if it works, it works. If it doesn't, I learn from my mistakes and either try and improve it or try and find a way around it. But we never really refilm things, because I really hate doing that. It's just like, you know, we filmed it, we're in the moment, it's cool, and let's try and work around it, because visual effects are amazing these days, so you can just do whatever you want, really. Anyway, so I hope you've learned quite a bit by this. If you want Action Essentials, you can just go to the Video Copilot website if you want that, or you can type in Google or Firefox or whatever you use, Safari or whatever. And I just realised I've used the wrong thing. Anyway, so thank you for watching this video. I hope you found it interesting. Make sure you go to my main channel, which is youtube.com/DalesFilms, for more tutorials. I've done a few tutorials on there, one on green screening, but I'll mainly do tutorials on this channel. Mainly for visual effects is on my Dale's Films channel. You can also go to Official Dale, and that is where I do little vlogs. I fail at them, but they're a bit fun. So yeah, thank you for watching. Make sure you subscribe, and I've done all this in one take. I'm pretty proud of myself. Anyway, see you. Goodbye.